guys, it is April from Getting Hookah With It. Today I have a very big book haul for you. I was sent a ton of amazing, exciting books from publishers and I wanted to share them here with you. So let's get into it. After I finish this video, I'm going to be doing a series of unhaul videos. I'm going to be getting new bookshelves in October-ish, early October, and I really wanted to get stuff off of my shelves. So yes, I'm putting more books on my shelves, but I'm getting rid of a bunch of books. So you'll be seeing that at some point as well. But okay, these are the books that were either sent to me or I picked up myself, and I'm very, very excited about all of these. So, okay, let's just get into it. The first book I wanted to talk to you about is The Night Visitor by Lucy Atkins. This was kindly sent to me by the wonderful people over at Courtesan books. I'm beyond excited about this book because you guys know how much I adore the Crime by the Book blog. And this, I think, is one of her most favorite books that she read this year. Like, this is the book that blew her away. And in The Night Visitor, we're following a woman named Professor Olivia Sweetman. And she has a very wonderful career, a really bigger-than-life career. And as she's at her launch party for her book, she should be really excited about this book that she's written about a pioneering female surgeon of the Victorian era, but she's not happy. She's not doing well at all. Only one other person knows what Olivia has done: Vivian Tester, the socially awkward middle-aged housekeeper of a Sussex manor who found the diary on which Olivia's new biography is entirely based. So Vivian eventually became Olivia's research assistant, but I think these two women have some sort of clash of interests, and I'm so excited for this. This has also got a little blurb on here from Claire McIntosh, and she said, "Sensational, such a sophisticated, layered read. I absolutely reveled in it. A wonderful, wonderful book." I'm just so excited to pick this up. So that's probably going to be happening really soon. I was also sent Dear Mrs. Bird by A.J. Pierce. This came to me from Simon & Schuster, Canada, and I am so happy that I have this. This is, this just seems like a very endearing kind of book about a woman in World War II, and she starts working at a newspaper. And there's a columnist named Mrs. Bird, and people write in about their problems, and it's usually just like their personal lifestyle kind of problems. And she realizes that Mrs. Bird isn't really writing back very often, or isn't writing back very well, and so she decided to start writing back to these people. And I don't think that those things are published or anything, but she writes them personally, and I'm so excited for this. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I love this kind of World War II story because a lot of World War II stories can get very, very intense, and it's kind of nice to have a change. I was also sent Daughters of the Lake by Wendy Webb. Now this is a Lake Union published book. It's coming out November 1st. We're following a woman who goes to her parents' home on Lake Superior after a divorce. Her marriage has broken up, and once she gets to this, what's supposed to be this little like safe haven for her essentially, she actually discovers the body of a murdered woman washed into the shallows. And tucked in the folds of the woman's curiously vintage gown is an infant, as cold and at peace as its mother. No one can identify the woman, except Kate has seen this woman in her dreams. So Wendy Webb writes kind of ghost stories, and I'm totally there for that. You know how much I adore ghost stories. So yeah, that's The Daughter of the Lake. Another book that I'm extremely excited about because it's got a lot of gothic and Daphne du Maurier kind of vibes to it, is The Boy at the Keyhole by Stephen Giles. This was sent to me by HarperCollins Canada. It's coming out September 4th, and this just seems so eerie it's just like an unsettling kind of book. I don't think this is going to have like lots of jumpy outy parts, but it's just going to feel creepy, and I'm totally there for that. This follows a boy. He is 9 years old, named Samuel, and he lives in a very large estate in Cornwall, England, with the family's housekeeper, Ruth. And Ruth, runs the entire home. Now, his mother has essentially disappeared. She left one night and didn't even say goodbye. He has been getting postcards from her randomly, but he's starting to wonder whether or not his mother disappeared at all, and whether she was actually killed by Ruth. Doesn't that sound amazing? I am so beyond excited for this one. I'm really hoping that it's as good as I'm making it out to be in my head. I also received A Noise Downstairs by Linwood Barclay, and this was from Penguin Random House Canada, and this is a very interesting, strange premise for a book. It's about a college professor named Paul Davis. Now, one evening, he notices his colleague is acting strangely, and he decides to follow his colleague. So he follows his colleague and discovers that this colleague is disposing of two bodies. I think that he is attacked or something, and he survives. So our main character, Paul, survives. 8 months later, his wife decides that she wants to cheer him up by getting him this beautiful vintage typewriter. He's always wanted one of these, and she decides to splurge and get it for him. So, however, the typewriter itself starts to become the source of his anxiety. He can hear keys clacking in the early hours of the morning when everyone else is in bed. And I think he believes that the typewriter is possessed, or there's a ghost, or something. It does sound really fun, and I've never read any Linwood Barclay, so this is my first, and I'm hoping that it's going to be good. I was randomly sent by Penguin Random House Canada a lovely little box with this book in it. It's called Vox by Christina Dalsher. This coming out at the end of August, and this is a kind of dystopian world in which women are only allowed to speak 100 words a day. I don't even know how many words I've expressed so far in this video, but 100 words a day would be absolutely petrifying. And we follow a woman in this world, and it says, what would you do to be heard? I imagine that would be a very scary scenario. So thank you so much, Penguin Random House Canada, for sending me Vox. It sounds really fun. Okay, now for the books that I bought myself. I did a little sneaky purchase on Book Outlet. I got myself a cookbook. I'm not showing the cookbook because I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. Let me know if you are interested in that. Anyway, but I did get 2 books from Book Outlet. You guys know how much I adore Paul Tremblay, so I picked up Disappearance at Devil's Rock, and this is about a young boy who goes missing, and his friends say that he went missing near Devil's Rock, and his mother, Elizabeth, is trying to discover what happened to him. Now, she believes that she sees her son in her bedroom, and people in the town are saying that they're seeing someone looking in their windows at night. And Paul Tremblay is such a scary writer. Like, every time I read one of his books, it makes your skin crawl. He's so great. So I'm very, very happy to have this finally on my bookshelves. I still need to get A Head Full of Ghosts. I've read it, but I don't have it myself, so I'd like to do that at some point. But Yes, Disappearance at Devil's Rock. It sounds wonderful. And then I also picked up The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane by Lisa C. Now I think I might have all of Lisa C's books on my shelves at this point. Haven't read any. And so I think I'm gonna stop here for a while until I've read a couple, because I don't even know if I like Lisa C's writing, but I seem to think that I will. This follows a family in a remote Chinese mountain village, and we follow Li Yan, who she and her family, they farm tea, and she ends up having a baby out of wedlock, and the custom, I believe, is to give the child over to be killed. Instead, she decides to wrap the baby in a blanket and leave it near an orphanage in a neighboring city. And so we follow Li Yan, and we also follow her daughter who is born. And I don't know if they're searching for each other or what, but it does sound really, really wonderful and really heartbreaking. And this cover, oh, I've been wanting to read this for a long time, so I picked that one up too. I picked up Chevy Stevens' Never Let You Go. This is another author where I feel like I have most of her books on my shelves, have no idea whether I'll like her or not. But she has a YouTube channel, which I'll link below, and I really love her YouTube channel, so I'm really eager to pick this one up. This follows Lindsay Nash, who escapes a very abusive relationship. She takes her young daughter and she leaves this man, and her ex-husband is actually sent to jail. We kind of fast forward 11 years later. Her daughter has grown up a lot. She's a teenager now, and her ex-husband is being released from jail. And she thinks that it might be okay. Like, her daughter wants a relationship with her father. He is acting a bit differently, so she's really hoping that he's grown, wiser a little bit while he was in jail. But she does get the sense that someone is watching her and tracking her every move. Her new boyfriend is threatened, her home is invaded, and she wants to know who is doing this. Like, is it her ex-husband? Who is it? And that sounds really fun, so I picked that one up. I also picked up The Courtesan by Alexandra Curry, and this is based on a real woman in China who was a courtesan. And this courtesan's name is Jinhua. She is an orphan, and for 7 silver coins she is sold to a brothel keeper. Now, I believe at some point she is taken to the West. She ends up going to Prussia, Austria, Hungary, and Russia on an exotic journey to Vienna. And it kind of follows her going back and forth from east to west and her experience. And it does sound really, really interesting. I have not heard of this book before, The Courtesan by Alexandra Curry, but I'm really, really eager for it. It sounds interesting and very different, and fascinating that it's based on a real life story. So I picked that one up. I also got The Wicked Girls. Sadly, it's really bent and gross, and I kind of regret. Like, I wish I had just found a better copy, but I've never heard of this book before. This is by Alex Marwood, and it takes place in 1986, and 2 11-year-old girls meet for the first time. By the end of that day, they're both charged with murder. I don't really need to know any more about that, do you? Because that sounds really good. And I started reading a couple of pages at the beginning, and I was instantly drawn in. Like, what happened with these girls? My goodness. So I want to know, and I'm going to find out. And then finally, I got What Happened by Hillary Clinton, because I want to know what happened. Why? Why are we in this world at this point? What happened, Hillary? I need to know. So I am really eager to find out And how do you bounce back from something like that? What a loss for her. So I would like to know. And those are all of the books that I picked up. I'm probably going to have like a part 2. I might go book shopping today a little bit. But this is like the big haul for July. So I hope this finds you well, and I will talk with you later. Okay, bye guys.